All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are back for the last game of the CIS Line 2 for the Kiev Major Regional Qualifiers. We got DoubleDimension versus Hive, two teams that are closer to the bottom of the bracket than most others. Hive especially 0 and 3. DoubleDimension, they have one win under the belt so far, up against Comanche, I believe. So they're in a bit of a better spot, but they definitely have to keep winning if they want to have a shot at making it to the double elimination bracket. My name is Dragon Drop, still with you here for the day, and once again I'm joined by Gorgon the Wonder Cow. How are you doing?
Muted, but otherwise good. I had trouble finding the window.
buttons. Where are the buttons? But hey,
10 seconds
it's all good now. And
Interesting Luna ban. Haven't been seeing a lot of
yeah,
that.
Radiant
in
team
Luna, there
pick.
was a while that he was super popular, like in the
Yeah.
beginning of 7.0, but not so much these
Dire
days
team
anymore.
pick.
Like,
Yeah,
people have figured that
basically
out.
through the fall and up until 7.0 and throughout.
Yeah. I don't know. Why do you think that is? Why does
She just got
Luna?
nerfed.
Yeah.
She continues to get nerfed, and
10
I mean, she was
seconds
really
remaining.
very strong with supports that were popular in the meta, like the Shadow Demon combo with
5
Luna was very
seconds
good.
remaining.
Shadow Demon got that aspect of himself nerfed in order to try and reduce Luna's efficacy, but really Luna still in terms of pubs still wins like 54% of her games, and Shadow Demon now wins like 42% or something. So they've been pulling out all the stops. The Dota 2 team is even willing to sacrifice other heroes' viability in order to try and slow Luna down. So
I don't know, man. I have nothing but
probably
loss with Luna
inevitable.
the last couple of times I played it after having like a
Radiant
70%
team
win
pick.
rate or something with the hero.
Yeah.
Recently, I've just had not a lot of success. But hey, anyway, that's my 3K pub story is probably not relevant to what we have going on right here. What we do have is a classic opener here for both teams, I guess.
10
Hive with the
seconds
Centaur,
remaining.
and then DoubleDimension with the Slaughter Lifestealer follow-up.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this is a good combo. This is a very classic combo, right?
Yep.
The Lifestealer is able to jump inside the
Reserve
Slaughter,
time.
who buys Blink Dagger. Then they both are going to benefit from open wounds, and of course, Lifestealer has a pretty substantial amount of.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can now. Yeah, you just cut out there for a second.
Oh, that's
Dire team
weird. I was just saying that the Lifestealer and the Slaughter work well together. Dazzle and Centaur also work well together. High armor works well on Centaur. Of course, Shallow Grave keeps the Centaur alive longer and allows Return to do more damage over time. And Shadow Wave is just spell in general.
It's just great for sustain throughout the team fight, but also after the team fight here. If you're gearing up for a push, you can make sure that
Dire
everyone's healthy
team
enough to actually do that more or less safely. So Dazzle, we see a lot of teams going back to that hero just as a super solid, safe defensive support option. A lot more Dazzles than Oracles these days,
10
that's what I'm sure.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, yeah,
5
I would
seconds
agree with that.
remaining.
The Axe ban, I mean, that just makes a lot of sense.
Reserve
Terrorblade
time.
ban, interesting. Has Hive been running a lot of Terrorblade? Do you
Uh,
know?
don't think so. Can take a look at my stats docklet here. It doesn't really show up, so maybe it's just something that DoubleDimension just don't want to deal with it at all.
Yeah, it's not a very popular pick right now, which is why I say something.
Yeah.
Like, it comes up once in a while. It's not a
Yeah, and when it does come up in the right circumstances, it can actually win you games because he's
Yeah, it's true.
arguably one of the hardest late game carries if you don't have some really good solutions up against super tanky illusions. Something like a lion, even a Pugna with like an axe to just keep life draining away at these things. He can do a ridiculous amount of damage in late game, and
Radiant team
yeah,
ban.
you don't want to deal with that necessarily if you can help it. So just taking it off the table. Why not?
Dire
Sure.
team pick.
Yeah, the Vengeful Spirit ban here. That's a hero we've been seeing a bit. We've seen it as a core a bit today. It also plays as a very strong support. It'll be interesting to see what DoubleDimension come up with. They might go for a Bat Rider here
10 seconds
with the
remaining.
removal of the Vengeful Spirit, also removal of an
5
illusion-based
seconds
hero who's
remaining.
pretty strong. It gives Batrider more opportunity in order to go in.
Reserve time.
There'll be a Nyx Assassin in the pool, just in terms of classic counters to the bat. I guess Shadow Demon as well. Not too much. There's a decent amount of synergy already as well with Dazzle.
Yeah, that's true. It's much less reliable as a counter, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah, you can get that fast disruption, but once Blink is up with Force Staff, it becomes very, very difficult. Double Dimension thinking about what they want.
I mean, they could go into more of like more heroes that can benefit from this extra minus armor from the Slaughter. I mean, Sniper comes to mind, has not been banned out yet.
Yeah, Sniper's pretty risky into a Centaur War Runner.
Yeah.
Gap really fast. Disruptor's a really good pick as a
Radiant team pick.
Centaur War Runners. Movement speed boost is not going to mean a whole lot if you get back.
You know, if you're just stuck in a kinetic field anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a great hero, just manipulating positioning and just controlling a team fight around where you
10
want it to
seconds
be if
remaining.
you're managing to play Disruptor well enough. And that's invaluable for someone like a
5
Lifesteal, even a
seconds
Slaughter,
remaining.
who can slither around with the sprint and like
Reserve time.
keep up with people. But ideally wants to fight around the Lifestealer, just keeps providing the Corrosive Hazes. Can't believe that's the name. I still can't believe that that's the spell name now.
Dire
Uh,
team pick.
but just keep crushing more to the point, just on that 8-second cooldown. So some great control coming out.
Yeah, the Pudge is not a hero that we see a whole lot at the competitive level.
10 seconds.
The most
remaining.
popular hero in pub Dota history, but in
Oh,
terms of competitive Pudge, he
5 seconds remaining.
tends to fall off quite a bit, right? I honestly, into a Lifestealer, he's very risky
Reserve
in the first
time.
place because the nature of Feast and Open Wounds means that high strength heroes tend to do very poorly against Lifestealer.
Yeah, at the same
Granted,
time,
he does have a disable that goes through
Yeah.
rage, but that so Disruptor has several ways to cancel that disable as well.
you do sometimes see the Pudge crop up, and I feel like in the right hands, he can just decide an early
Radiant
game. Maybe
team
not the
pick.
entire game, but definitely an early game. Like if you land a couple of these hooks,
Dire
if you
team
manage to
back.
create chaos by running people down with Rod that might not really expect you coming up. It can have an impact, and then later down the line, you have this tanky hero that can go a bit more towards the utility side, with like even like
10
Crimson Guard or
seconds
something.
remaining.
You really want. Not that I've seen too much of it, but you know what I mean, right? You are this tanky
5
hero that's gonna
seconds
stay alive in
remaining.
team fights, so you can go into some sort of aura build
Radiant team
to help out
back.
the rest of
Yeah,
your team, and then you're always gonna have that Pudge hook, which is gonna make it more tricky for Double Dimension to push high ground, or alternatively easier for Hive to push high ground themselves, just with these constant fish hooks coming through.
Radiant team pick.
So Timber Saw still available for Double Dimension.
Ooh,
That would be a pretty good pick
Dire
into the
team
OD.
Yeah.
And Clockwork's still available for Double Dimension. I think those are probably two most likely picks here. They both synergize really well with Lifestealer. They both utilize either the benefit of the Ember
10
Spirit really
seconds
well
remaining.
with the early magic amplification that he's going to build, or the
5
Slardar's
seconds
physical damage
remaining.
amplification. I think Clockwork's riskier into an OD. He doesn't have tremendous
Reserve
intelligence
time.
gain, but Timbersaw
10
builds
seconds
an early
remaining.
Bloodstone, which is going to help him
5
with his
seconds
regen and
remaining.
sustain.
it's gotta be the Magnus instead, and I do want to say that's
That
offlane.
fits too. Yeah, I think it's an offlane mag. That's not completely unheard of, though it is much less common. I think Magnus works really well here.
Oh yeah, it
If
definitely does.
you can execute it out of the off lane, which is it's just more difficult to do at this competitive level.
Yep.
I see it fail as often as I see it succeed.
Well, in this game though, if he does get some levels under his belt, he can use the Empower to help out the Lifestealer. Just adding
Yep.
another layer on top of that big power spike that he already has around the 20-minute mark with like phase boots, armlet, and maybe even Desolator. Then the
Yeah, sleight of
Slaughter,
fist with Empower is
that
no
too, yeah.
joke,
So can work out potentially extremely
10
well, plus an
seconds
extra
remaining.
AoE control from the RP. Nothing to ignore
5
either.
seconds
So
remaining.
I don't know. Kind of like Double Dimension's lineup here overall, I would say. But then
Yeah, I
again,
agree.
this Necrophos is always a bit of a wild card.
Yeah, Necrophos can be very, very strong. You can also run into just a tremendous amount of difficulty getting into position through the mid game. So,
I know the set.
Necrophos.
See the
What
Necrophos
was that?
set? I believe that set was cosplayed by Rehab at ESL1 last year, I would say.
That's pretty cool. I like it. The Anubis set. Is that what
Yeah.
it is? It
I-
looks-
We have this thing back now where we can actually check. So, Mask of Ka, whatever that means.
Okay, I'm going to
Wait.
continue to call it the Anubis set.
Yeah.
It's got the scarab. It's got the like wolf face.
Sorry for derailing the point you wanted to make, but I just wanted to point
I
out.
don't remember what it is. We're so far into the day. We got a long way to go to. I love qualifiers time because it's so much good Dota.
Oh yeah.
But like,
Like-
it gets draining after a little while.
It does.
You know what
it
I mean,
does,
friend?
but I absolutely do. But it always reminds me of why I love casting so much.
Yeah.
Because
All this top tier Dota, but what's really nice about qualifiers too is that you really never know what you're gonna. When you cast very, very high skill, like top of the top pro Dota games, a lot of time there's so much closer margins in terms of relative skill that the team with the better coordination often wins. And I've cast a lot of games where I was very confident about the winner in advance. That team won. The game was close and exciting, but it felt like a foregone conclusion from the draft. And you don't get that quite as often here because teams in qualifiers are often of the level where they still throw once in a while, completely unnecessarily. So there's always that chance that a game might get turned around that you don't necessarily have in the finals of a tournament.
Well, still see these pro tactics immediate smoke up into TPs to the lane. Both sides really for the start of Hive. It's only Fervian who's actually gonna get himself perhaps a ward on the shrine. Or even deeper in here, keeping an eye on that bounty rune spot.
Oh, he's better back up. They're both under cover of smoke. Neither of them saw each other. That's funny.
Sometimes these kind of early rotations can make or break the early game in terms of vision, because sometimes if you TP to the right lane by chance, you spot someone smoke, or like you
You get a
plant the
sense
ward
of
down
where the-
earlier, and then someone comes in without a smoke and plants his own ward, and then you can immediately deward that. Like these kind of
Yeah.
things can potentially change the game, especially these
I
kind
mean,
of
it
deep wards that are
does.
very unlikely to be dewarded normally with like normal counter wards.
It would not be the standard in professional Dota if it did not work.
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
there's a reason that this smoke ward thing evolved. I think it evolved out of middle ranked North American teams, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Watching those games was the first I saw it,
Yeah.
where it became very regular, like
The
IX Mike
battle
used to do,
begins.
long before I saw anybody else do it. And it makes a difference. At the cost of 100 gold and a smoke, you have much less chance that your opponents are going to deward you. And this is exactly what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Always Wanna Fly got his ward down first, and Centaur stood on top of it until his smoke ran out, planted a ward. If the Centaur had planted his ward before he had been seen, or had moved off of the spot where he planted the ward, then that counter ward probably doesn't come out.
As a result, Disruptor has 300 gold, which is an extra bounty rune essentially.
Right. Well, though, to be fair, he paid for the sentry. So basically, the
Yeah.
sentry was free.
Yeah, still. Skewer back as a bit of a tussle here. Crush comes out, but Rod's still going, and it's gonna be Yevgeny. Starting
Orbit
to
up
drop
top.
low, same for
It's
Super
gonna get
Pro.
first blood.
There it is. Ah, just got there in time. Thanks for calling that out.
Absolutely.
That was
Yeah,
pretty close
it's
on
just-
bottom as well, though, so.
Yeah, it's really tough to make that call. Where do I put the camera? Open wound is enough. And Always Wanna Fly did opt to go for the Thunderstrike first, which gave them the damage to overcome. Return just not nearly enough.
Yeah. Don't really care too much about that if you
Oh
have the prospect of a kill.
no! Look at this. This is really fantastic ward placement from the Disruptor. He put it so that he knew if this high ground had a sentry down, his ward would be safe.
Yeah.
And so he's able to see completely, and he's going to steal a last hit from the high ground. He's gonna steal more than one last hit from the high ground. Is he getting? Oh, he missed all of those. Those
Yeah,
were
those
killed by the
were-
return
those were
damage.
orbits.
Yeah, they were killed by return.
You got
damage.
this
He
one.
got that one
There
though.
we go.
Always want to fly. Big number 32, taking that gold.
Bottom lane is the skew available for Super Pro, and he takes the Pudge with him. Maybe not ideal. Another hook for some extra damage, but it's actually who's falling first?
Wow.
It is Super Pro, but Pudge still ends up dying, trying to deny himself with the last tick, but the creeps had something to say about that.
This
So-
Necrophos is in an interesting position. He's got to get himself up to the point where they can open up with a Pudge hook and then just erase a hero to open up a fight.
Oh
If
god,
they
no.
don't get to that point early.
This is Valvo saying, hey look, you get a free kill. Hey, through
Yeah.
on Pudge. Like,
Do you like kills?
yeah.
Limited time offer. Kills are absolutely free.
As 4 says, it's the best rune ever. Glimpse back here on the OD, Undershock back out of
Nice
his cage. There goes rotation from Smiley, gets the Shuttle Grave off.
He will be forced to use this shrine, but the whole team is here to use it with him, presumably, so.
A soldier's fortune.
They are going to try to farm up some creeps while they're doing it.
This
Good
makes it
efficiency.
Yeah. Teams got
It's
good
like-
at that really quickly, actually.
Lifestealer free farming up here, though. Almost sitting on top of Phase Boots already at 311.
Oh, look at this. Without support, Necropho's gonna get gone on by Slaughter. Smiley only now making his way back. That does
Yeah.
give Super Pro some easy farm on the tower. Another crush. Like, you shouldn't really ever be able to kill a Necrophos if he has decent amount of okay, what the hell?
I almost called that out, but I thought I saw you flick over there. It was just Pudge rot, basically. They just Astral Imprisonment sets up the Pudge rot, and then
Oh, yeah.
the Pudge can just follow until the person dies.
Slow and painful death, in other words.
Yeah, the Pudge rot. I mean, Pudge himself is paying off so far. The question is, will he continue to through the mid?
Yeah, at some point it's gonna shift from the importance of the rod into the importance of the hook. I guess Undershock one of the less likely targets. In fact, what the hell is he doing? He's under tower. His flame blast only gonna carry you so far. He's gonna get the kill, but at what cost? That is not worth it.
No, that is not worth it at all.
Radiant's
I'm
middle
not
tower
sure
is
why
under
he
attack.
chased that far. Like, he had to
Yeah.
know Pudge had hook, right? And the hook is
Surely.
pure damage, so his flame guard is not going to protect him from it.
So
It's
odd.
not like he was chasing a magical damage-based opponent who, like, oh, well, I won't take any damage because of the damage block.
Yeah.
Fell. It was really very greedy of him. Maybe shows a little bit of lack of respect coming out of DD's squad.
What a
And
con
Pudge
to
getting
jump on.
another kill. I questioned this Pudge pick, but now, here I am, being schooled.
His rotations were absolutely on point. Looks like they might
Yeah.
have gone a little bit too greedily on Necrophos, and then even gets an extra kill on Slaughter with the Heartstopper aura of all things. Was it that? No, it was actually Smiley with the damage over time, so that is a little bit more forgivable, I suppose. That poison
But
touch is pretty
Crystallize-
strong earlier.
Does continue to free farm up here. Orbit
Go
comes
again,
up for
rage
no
off that
reason.
stomp. And he will die again. Glimpse back, a couple of extra right clicks will do the trick. Ah, the bomb! And there it is. Almost. Almost miscalculated. Oh god, it's just not stopping, isn't it? This time Ember Spirit.
It'll
Gets
never
killed
stop
again.
if there's a Pudge in the game, right? I mean, anytime you miss a kill, look on the minimap where that happened, and you'll see a little blue blob walking away. He's
Pretty
everywhere.
much.
He's gonna rotate top. We could probably just follow camera on Pudge. I'm gonna do that for
So
a little
bad.
while. Hands-free casting.
Wish I could get away with that more often. That's more of a, like a
rotating away from this top lane.
more of a nice little thing to say in a cast, like when you're dealing with a Tinker. Alright, yeah, just keep the camera on Tinker, this is where the action's gonna be at anyway. Gotta look at all the other lanes and items too.
Pudge
So,
is still sitting here in the mid lane, and he could get himself another kill with turns. This is really patient of him to just wait in the mid lane for the OD to come all the way back. Not only is he soaking up a little, but like he is establishing himself as nothing to worry about, right? He's already here. So if there are wards around, they're not going to view him. Oh, this disruptor is getting trouble potentially. Oh,
It's also
but an
extra.
invisible
Yeah.
Slardar.
Don't think they know about it. And he'll show himself. Nestle double crush and try and turn this around. Not fervent. Starting to drop low imprisonment. Keeping one for later. And the hook. What? Where'd he go? I don't know. Okay, he ran this down there. Didn't see the animation there for a moment. So they're still gonna get the kill on Slaughter despite this invis. Throwing a wrench in their plans. But once again, nice rotation there from Smiley. Getting the Shellgrave off. Making all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I also didn't get the remnant animation. Was a
Like
gone,
he was there, and the next moment he's gone. Like, what the hell is he? Did he slip into the imprisonment? Did he break into the astral prison? How is that even possible?
I don't know. Yeah.
That'd
Some
be an
weird
interesting mechanic,
interaction.
though.
Okay, top.
Oh,
It's
God.
gonna be in the net order. It's gonna try to ulti.
Oh, he's
Wow.
still alive. Literally 7 health points or so.
That is a very uncomfortable.
That's where spam Zeus old now on the chat wheel. So with everything that's going on, who would you say is ahead?
I think DD have a better draft for the mid game, but they need to make sure that they're not getting outpaced by this in terms of just overall rotation control. So, but the Lifestealer's getting relative free farm in terms of net worth. The actually the OD's keeping up with the Lifestealer, which surprises me when I'm switching over here.
Well, he has 4 kills, so
Yeah, that's true.
that tends to even things out a little bit.
The Magnus is keeping out way ahead of Tarlo, so
Dire's bottom
that's 2
tower
lanes that
is
have
under
relatively been 2 positions that are doing better. I think if this Pudge continues to keep up pressure, then DD might be in some trouble, but this is about the stage in the game where I'd expect that Pudge to become a little bit less impactful, maybe in the next 2 or 3 minutes, and watch DD kind of come into the run.
Yeah, especially on the back of Crystallize, right? He's with this free farm, he's gonna turn this into these core items that we were talking about. He already has the face boots, gonna get the armlet soon. Then, if he wants to, he
Echo
can
Saber
already
into
start
victory.
investing into things. Or Echo Saber, yeah, Echo Saber Desolator. Maybe add one of those on top of what you already have, and then by that time, ideally, Slaughter found enough money for Blink Daggers. So far, nowhere close, even upgraded boots. So maybe not something that you're looking towards in the near future.
Well, remember, he is a support.
Yeah.
So Blink Dagger's not going to now anytime. And he might even opt because he can get it in components. We'll see.
But then in this game, you still have a Magnus, right? He already has something
Right.
queued up, so he's gonna get it eventually.
He's going to get it relatively soon unless this Pudge...
Eventually, he
on
can
him,
get some
which-
kills
yeah.
here, just walking up for an RP, perhaps. There it is. Cure at the ready here whenever they need it. Gem to jump in. Shellgrave rather early, and now the damage is actually not coming through. Enough heals from Necrophos and Dazzle to turn this around onto Super Pro. And now with rotation and extra movement speed from the Centaur, they clean up this entire ganking party. What happened
Wow,
there?
Hive. Yeah, good rotations is basically what it comes down to. Smiley getting in exactly where he needed to be. The Pudge also
Dire's bottom tower
damage
is
and
under
control. There
attack.
was no escape. Once they initiated that fight, there was no way that they could do anything about it. Now, the solution here, of course, is DD need to rotate into the top right now while nobody can TP Centaur and just kill him again and
Yep.
take this tower. Unfortunately, they don't have the gank power that Hive do for this stage in the game. That Pudge Court gives so much potential for initiation.
There we have his 3 points up in the Slaughter sprint, recognizing that he's not going to get a blink anytime
Dire's
soon, so
structures are
to
fortified.
make up for that another way, he's just going to wait for the creeps to push, but Smiley's already there, gets glimpsed back immediately, says, nope, not dealing with Shallow Grave again. Thank you, sir.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm a little surprised that Hive didn't smell that.
Is under
Like,
attack.
that is the super obvious,
Yeah.
right? Everybody TP'd bottom, push on to top, especially since the tower was so low.
Dire's middle tower
I think they
is under
did.
I-
I mean, I think that's why Smiley rotated, but the glimpse,
Yeah.
he just didn't
Radiant's
didn't count
It
for the
was a
glimpse
nice
vision that was given by the Slaughter. I think. Middle lane. That's actually a lot of damage by Pikachu. Drops the hammer, not really doing too much outside of cutting through Ember's mana. The Heracles is still there, is crystallized. starts doing something in this game. Fervin also helping out. Undershock trying to find an angle to get himself out of there. Does have a little remnant and enough mana to zip to it if necessary, but well, Lifesteal Friend is still at it. Darkseid doesn't have the Ghost Shard available. Oh, the hook!
Oh,
Almost enough to bring him down, but now as it stands, Fervian, he was the one baited instead of the Ember Spirit, as it turns out.
Yeah,
This
very
is-
unfortunate that the Necrophos ran out of mana for partway through that, and then right before he died, he got enough mana.
Yeah.
Just not quite able to survive long enough to land that to hold the Ember Spirit still for that kill. And this is exactly what I was just talking about the pacing starting to slide away potentially from Hive as some of these core items come online, and DD really get ready to move in and fight in skirmishes rather than one at a time.
Especially with the Lifestealer making an appearance on the map. We saw what kind of impact he has. When he can fight on a rage like that, he can win a team fight. Okay, at the very least he can provide enough damage. Okay,
What
always
is
wanna fly.
always want to fly doing?
That is just classic always wanna fly, that's what that is. He's
Wow.
still alive somehow, the RP faked out, looking for the right target. Okay, he does end up applying to Fervian, so damage over
Always wanna
time
fly
from
back
an
to the
urn.
fountain.
Yeah. Always want to die, I call him, jokingly, at times. Just because he always goes for these, like, plays where he just initiates, throws his life away, and maybe they can convert it into something.
This is how weird that was.
Yeah.
He was in such a weird place that Radiant dropped a sentry thinking the only way he could possibly be here is if he was warding something. That's the only reason he would be where he was. Drop a sentry
Dire's
ward, he
bottom
must
tower
have
is
warded
under
here.
attack.
So in that way, next level, right?
Yeah.
Faded out a sentry ward.
Little do they know, the ward is a little bit further to the left from earlier, so...
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, god. Keck, they say.
Keck
Telephone.
napalm. Telephone, yeah.
Keck napalm telephone. Aha!
I can read Cyrillic, Mom.
Amazing.
Yeah. You should all be very proud of me. Yeah, Echo Saber is getting close to done here.
Just...
Lifestealer is one of these cores that need 2 core items in order to get going.
Yeah.
And you do not want him to get there before 15 minutes.
And this is way ahead of timing. Of his normal timing, which is scary enough as it is. But now, yeah, as I said, Echo Saber almost done, plus the Empower as well.
Oh yeah,
It's only level
that's-
2, but
that's
still, it's
devastating.
30%
Radiant's
extra.
middle tower is under
And
attack.
there'll be a blink dagger on the Magnus.
Unless he dies here with this push, but...
I'm just waiting for it, but he can't get it because of the This is gonna back out, and they will deny the tower. I think that's smart.
Dire's
Don't fight
bottom
here.
Yeah.
You know they're
has been denied.
There's no reason to try and hold on to that tower necessarily, if you still have that TP location on the shrine anyway.
Fortune. Prize.
yeah. Radiant do have a pretty good aggressive vision ward here, so they do know.
Oh,
basically
there it is. Another ward at the river sets up this hook for a punch, but it's on a Lifestealer who just turns it around, glimpses back into the Static Storm, but a central ultimate still coming through. Now always on the fly in the tail end. 4-star forward, Pikachu just drops the hammer, almost got Super Pro with that as well. One more right click is enough for the double kill, so
Visitants to the outer.
that hammer
Yeah.
really hits hard.
it
Boy,
does
OD
indeed.
is a hero that isn't scaling intelligence in a lot of ways is very underwhelming. A lot of heroes that do not scale particularly well.
And now that opens up the map a little bit more for Hive to chip away at tier 2 bottom. How far do you actually think they want to take this? I mean, the TP it in center even. Where's his own Blink Dagger? Just freshly picked up as well, more or less.
If they can force a fight here, I see no reason outside of
Dire's
which they
top
should be
tower
able to
is
because
under
Pudge can
attack.
grab a hook. Because the Disruptor ultimate is down, at least for the next half minute. So as long as they're pressuring here, they
Dire's
can
bottom
feel relative.
tower is under attack.
I don't like Centaur's positioning though.
Yeah.
Gonna be in front of the Pudge hook. I get that
I think he's just ready to get Blink in, Storm to set up for an
Yeah.
easy hook.
he's gonna have to get up here
Dire's structures
before
are
he's
fortified.
not in the Pudge's way though.
Well, it all doesn't really matter if DD aren't even walking that way to try and defend this. I mean, they must know that something like this is going on, right?
Yeah, I mean anytime somebody's
Dire's
pushing in a
bottom
game,
tower is under attack.
It
You've
is.
got a pretty. Oh, okay, maybe not. Is he trying to bait out the blink? Nope. He's
Maybe,
just
but
unaware.
might just be busted down. Oh, the hook
Whoa.
actually misses. Undershock's still alive, and now might have been enough time to bait it out. Super Pro has his own blink dagger, has a lifesteal inside of him. Just needs to find a good RP. Well, only finds it on one. Sells lifesteal inside, and catch a glimpse back. Immediately blink out towards the top right there.
That should happen 0%. That should have been. That was everything except that punch hook was perfectly executed. And I don't know about you, but on my screen there were some hook shenanigans. Like
Yeah, that was
it
that. It
went
looked like it
around
should've.
for a rotational hitbox onto the creep instead of hitting on the much larger hitbox of the hero.
I don't even know. It felt like it should have hit, but it didn't.
Is under
Yeah.
attack.
That was really weird. Like the hook animation on my screen actually bent, which should not happen. And I wonder what the cause of that was.
Radiant's bottom
Smoking
tower
from right inside. They do find a freebie on Slaughter. That's
nice.
annoying
That's
too,
nice.
because he's also getting kind of close to his blink dagger now.
Yeah, and he is rushing it too, so
Dire's middle tower has
extremely vulnerable as a hero. He honestly shouldn't be visible at this juncture in the game. It's better to get your blink dagger like 2 minutes later, and do it safely than get it 5 minutes later because you were trying to rush it. You know.
Yep. Oh well. They still have like the strat going for them with the Empower, the Blink on Magnus, of course, as we saw. Only leading to the one kill, but potentially leading to more whenever Hive are a little bit less careful about the positioning. Because in the last fight they were pretty well spread out. They were super ready for an RP to come through.
I'll
Oh.
link to do that.
Just one of these hooks that you sometimes throw and then it finds a gap between the creeps.
Yeah.
Coin for me.
So,
Gift from the Tempest.
Anyway, that hook cost them like a lot of their momentum.
Yeah.
Hive are in a pretty favorable position here in terms of kills, but in terms of net worth, after that hook, they lost a third of their lead. So that's a pretty painful mistake.
well, they've rebuilt it since. Back up to 3k. Experience also slightly in their favor now. Top lane looks to be a point of contention. Last remaining out of tier tower, or tier 1 tower I should say, for DD. But they're getting ready here. They have the blink dagger now on Slaughter. Smoke up in the back here on Superbone, always want to fly.
Double
But
damage
Orbit, he
and
knows what's up.
policy.
He's looking right. Did he not see him? Yeah, he did. He saw the Slaughter lifesteal inside of him to try and turn us around. Imprisonment up here on 2 heroes in the front. Static Storm and Kinetic Field lands and Crystallize. Needs to actually convert us, but he can't settle on a single target. Everyone's still alive for Team Hive. And now Pikachu in the backlines dropping the hammers. Continue to right click with already a completed Hurricane Pie. Gets the kill on long range on Lifestealer. And finishes up the pesky frontline as well. Amazing fight for Hive and DD. They were getting ready to initiate, but weren't ready to deal with them being initiated on themselves.
Hive were trying to serve up those exact same shenanigans bottom, and they smelled it out really effectively, sending their both their OD and their Centaur to scout those trees before they did any sort of aggressive pushing. That was really smart and careful, and not at all what DD expected.
As well, they get a tier 1, they're also gonna get the tier 2, because all of the spells essentially were used for DD, the RP, the Static Storm. Gained them ultimately nothing.
Dire's top tower has
Yeah,
fallen.
they might even grab themselves a tier
Oh,
2
the
here.
hook, he lands it!
Wow.
Ultimate still available here, Totem plays for a little bit longer. Reinforcements on the way. Infest into a creep. Alright. And yeah, he just
And
takes
that
it over
creep
and
is
walks
gonna
away.
waddle his butt back on into safety.
It could have turned into something for Orbit, which is just perhaps a little bit closer. But I don't know when the rage would have
Dire's
timed
middle
out.
tower is under attack.
Oh, okay. Get you. Doesn't want to go high ground, but doesn't need to. Imprisonment, easy hook setup, easy kill.
Yeah, this is. Hive have
God,
just taken
why?
total control of the pacing. Yeah, this is just a meat grinder at this point. And earlier on in the game, the Pudge opened up so many opportunities in order to create kills, but at this stage, DD really should be at a position where they're not getting picked out one at a time like this.
I mean, so often these wards on very common ward spots have led to so many hooks and kills for Ferbian to take advantage of. But DD doesn't seem to get chances to ward them. Maybe just the fact that Always on Fly doesn't have enough money for all the sentry wards that they need. You know, they keep dropping them at like these locations.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's,
the
like,
thing is,
just
if they
tough to
knew
live with.
exactly where those wards deal, but the fact is, I don't think DD really know. You know, they're dropping wards anywhere that they can, anywhere they think they might hit something. Like, if you know exactly where the wards are, your carries can buy the wards because they'll get the 100 gold back for free, right? That's the nature of it now that you can buy them one at a time. They're going to try to spin this game back around to their favor using Corrosive Haze to knock down Roshan very early and blinking in. I think that they'll do this relatively uncontested, but Hive is very close by.
This movement was spotted as well. They came through around this other ward that Hive had set up earlier.
Yeah.
The question is, can they find this initiation? They're gonna definitely need the centaur for it though. And Orbit is nowhere to be seen. He only now TV through. It's just a tad bit too late. DD on the shark has an invis. He scouts out one. Always want to fly. Just that's with Fervin is still alive actually. RP on the static storm. Super Pro trying to drag them back in. The hook out and crystallize is punching nice himself. Alright, very chaotic fight. You have Gating with a nice little triple crush there to try and set up for something else as Crystallize comes back in a second. With his Aegis, can maybe get the kill, but Force also just too much for him to handle. He'll get Smiley. The Pikachu is the one securing the ultra kill on the rest of his team in the meanwhile. Now, Pikachu, gotta be careful here, yeah. Imprison and walk away, dude. Walk away. He does.
Wants it so bad.
Yeah, he does have the Hurricane Pike.
bad.
Darkseid will fall. Crystallize gets another freebie here as they just not ready to let go. And that's actually a big kill in the end. 700 gold.
Yeah, it's 1400 after the AoE and everything.
Yeah.
Because remember, you get the most money individually if you by yourself, and the AoE gold is where your opponent's net worth gets calculated in. It's not in the kill gold. It's in the gold that isn't shown to you on the side. So if your opponents are ahead by, say, 10,000 net worth, as is the case now, a lot of gold is not announced on the side.
Yeah. Super Pro. It's poking the bear a little bit. In this case, the Centaur.
God, if he managed to kill that OD, though, that would have been huge.
Yeah,
Oh, Centaur.
nice glimpse back into kinetic fields. Stampede not helping you, so this time good rotation. Always want to fly in the rest of the DD squad.
Lifesteal to not get in there quite early enough to get anything out of that, unfortunately. But ultimately, another 1,000 gold swing into the favor here of DD. They are very far behind in terms of net worth, but a couple of swings like this puts them in a much more favorable position.
Yeah.
They almost have 4 staff up on the Magnus, which will be a very, very big moment. And they do now have a Diffusal with only half its charges left up on the Lifestealer.
He's been
Didn't
using
announce
that
one.
to get rid of the
Yeah,
Ghost Shroud.
secure the kills.
Now, Hive setting up for defense. You have to pick enough Undershock up top. With Ember being caught out.
Yeah, taking a look at the way Hive are kind of stalling out here. They might be just trying to get out and get some aggressive warding down so that they can smoke gank. That seems to play into their favor. They don't have tremendous high ground assault, so in a perfect world they'd be able to get a kill before they try to go on the high ground. But if they wait too long, like this is not an unrecoverable game for DD.
Yeah.
I think DD go late better.
Especially now, I
OD
really like this. Always want to fly. He picks up the gem. And
Yeah.
already started to deward 2 of these wards that were still out from the Radiant side.
Yeah, that's going to make a big difference because, as you mentioned, that vision has been absolutely crucial for getting this Pudge into position to prize hooks.
Yep. This, they're all smoked up. Orbit leading the charge. Defensive weave. They want to fight. Don't know exactly where they're at though. Smoke breaks, blink, crush, gonna miss, and DD. Jig is up. Now, gotta be careful about how many people you show us up because there's an RP on 2 with Crystallize on top. Shallow Grave to keep Pikachu alive with Orbit. Will still end up taking this well. 1-1 trade so far, but the hammer's being dropped. And that'll definitely secure the fight for DD despite that RP. And
Shallow Grave is such a good spell.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so many of these fights are being turned around by the fact that a hero that should be dead is soaking up a ton of resources to kill just to maintain control of the fight for DD.
Funny
That
thing
Dazzle
is,
has
yeah.
more than paid for.
Funny thing is, I don't even think the Shallow Grave was necessary. I think Pikachu survived even without that, just with all the heals coming through.
Did he? It
Yeah,
looked like he dropped pretty low.
That was a Centaur who dropped very low and could have definitely used the Shallow Grave more, I would say. But yeah. Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay, that was just nasty. That was just
No.
blink into silence into 3 right clicks. I count. Oh, 3 right clicks.
This is like when the Wicked Witch with the gingerbread house feeds Hansel and Gretel in order to then eat later. You know?
Yeah.
It's once they kill this pinata of an OD, that gold surge is going to absolutely turn this game. Or they'll never do it and they'll just lose. It's a bold strategy. I'm not saying it's not bold. Correct.
Yeah, I'm just noticing now, he's 21-6.
Yeah, no, he's
Damn.
huge.
Oh god. I just want to see him die now, just so we can see how much gold he's worth right now.
At least 1,500.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know when his kill was exactly, like at what cutoff point the kill streak actually starts.
He's beyond nothing now, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. So, like,
Oh,
once back.
nice little force stuff forward, but the skewer back was a bait and switch. Pikachu pops a BKB, starts to turn us around, but he's starting to take a lot of damage. Shallow Grave in case, just in case. Meanwhile, the rest of his team securing both the Magnus as well as Slaughter, so things still looking dire as Pikachu gets healed up by a couple of urn charges. Plus the Death Pulse spam from Darksack. That is 1, 2, 3, I'm on a killing spree. Now slowed down, Roots. More stuff back, still being healed up, and nicely timed stomp after the Yules. Immediate buyback from Undershock, but I don't think they can do anything. Those are the down stealers, but they don't have the control factor of an RP or a crush.
But they're almost 2,000 net worth in deficit at 28 minutes. This is getting real close to done. I don't have access to it because that Dota's been down for a little while, but you know, back in the day when we had access to.
There it is, RP. Defensive hook on the right target.
Yeah.
There's silence, 1, 2, hammer. Don't want to deal with the shrine, why would you? Ouch.
They're just chasing in. Well, back in the day when we had access to win, like a 3,000 or excuse me, a 2,000 net worth lead at 30 minutes would have been something along the lines of like a 98% chance to win. It's pretty stark.
It's definitely looking like it. Pikachu, yeah, he's just having fun at this point. Just blinking into 4 heroes. No care in the world. Now triple remnant. BKB. He's not dying anytime soon, and he knows it.
And there's still a Dazzle here, right? You gotta kill the Dazzle before you can kill the OD.
Yeah. Get the glimpse back. Double
Just
force staff.
over.
Just trying to find an angle, just trying to use the spells, but they're being denied by the insane amount of mobility that Hive have between themselves.
I really liked this draft from DD much more than this.
Oh yeah, me too.
This, I honestly... Okay, that's something. I don't know if they'll be able to get anything.
They're making a place, but like... don't have the follow-up. Oh no, Lifesteal's Rage ends just at the right time. Or it's safe to
wrong
put
time,
him out of
depending on
existence. Yes. If you're a DD fan, then it's definitely the wrong time.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a DD fan, this game is definitely the wrong time.
Yeah.
But if you are a Hive fan, man, Fervian's Pudge was stellar in opportunity creation earlier this game.
Absolutely.
And you gotta give Smiley's Dazzle credit, like, this OD has not died basically all game.
Well, don't feel like commentating this one because, well, RP onto they don't have the damage really. And even if they
You
do,
can
the Shadow
commentate
Graves
this
come
fight.
out. Yeah.
All you got to do is say OD is still alive.
Odie
and that's pretty
is
much
still
the whole
alive.
fight. It's the
Beyond
same
godlike
thing
ad infinitum.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
He ends the game with 28 kills. 28 kills. It's final
Yeah,
kills.
that was probably the most disgusting performance, like domination, that I think we've seen in the qualifiers so far.
Yeah. Well, Hive victory. That's the first win on the board, I believe. So they're 1-3 now. DoubleDimension 1-4, I believe. Something along those lines. Still gonna be hard for both of these teams to make it to the top, but they can definitely still use these qualifiers to just hone the competitive edge and keep going in these other tournaments that have a place for them in the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is an entry into competitive play, right? So for them, getting a couple of wins, it's not all about getting into the. Every team wants to get into the major, but there's a lot that you can get out of qualifiers, even if you do not qualify, especially for a team like Hive.
All right, so there's nothing else left to say about this game. Don't think it is. I mean, great draft by DoubleDimension, but Fervian just taking the game over, creating so much space. Smiley just ensuring their survival, and then completely out of control OD. And that concludes our last game for today for CIS Line 2. There's still plenty of Dota left to be played, right? We're pretty much 24/7 for the next couple of days still, more or less.
24 like 4. But
Yeah,
but
I guess.
I'm going to be back for South America starting with 2 or 3 games up. So, in like an hour or two, I'll be back. I think you might be back with me. I think we're still trying to sort out exactly who's on what. But everybody who wants to know can go ahead and follow me over at The Wonder Cow on Twitter, and I'll post an update there once I've got it.
Definitely go ahead and do that. And of course, you can also follow me at Drag and Drop Dota for the same kind of info of when I'm casting. I'll definitely be back tomorrow, though, at around the same time. But then again, you never really know the way these games have been going. The start time is fixed, but everything else is just one after the other as much as possible. So do definitely tune in for some more CS goodness then. But for now, for the stream at this very moment, thank you guys very much for watching and see you next time.